Welcome to commUNITY and welcome to fall.
We're going to enjoy fall while we have it, and we hope that you will enjoy commUNITY because we have a lot to share. Welcome to commUNITY. I'm Claudine Ewing.
And I'm Pete Gallivan. Well, October is the heart of fall. We're also coming up on Indigenous Peoples Month. And this month, Native Americans got some very exciting news regarding the sport they invented. Lacrosse will be included in the Los Angeles Olympics. The lacrosse world is still rejoicing about the recent announcement that the sport would be included in the 2028 Los Angeles Olympic Games.
That lacrosse is much more than the game. It's much more than us. It has a higher purpose and much more meaning to it.
For the people who introduced the game to the world centuries ago, the former Iroquois Confederacy, now called the Haudenosaunee, it is of particular pride.
In my head, and I could be a little biased, but I see the Haudenosaunee lighting the torch at the Olympics.
Now, despite the announcement by the International Olympic Committee, there is still a long road ahead for the Haudenosaunee team to even be considered for inclusion. There will be meetings with World Lacrosse, the International Olympic Committee, and the member nations themselves, but the dream is one step closer to reality. What would it mean to you personally to be able to represent the Haudenosaunee in the Olympics?
Everything.
And it's been a dream held by many for many years. I interviewed Tehoka Nanticoke during his rookie season in Banditland.
The game of lacrosse, but it means medicine to us. So when the world gets to see that and truly understand the game, there's no limits for what the game of lacrosse can do worldwide, especially at the Olympic level. That it's game-changing.
And other potential Olympians as they prepared for the World Games in the summer of last year.
It's going to be something huge for our people as far as recognition for our sovereignty and our passport rights.
Current Haudenosaunee Nationals board member and former player Rex Lyons has told me over the years that playing under his flag in international competition has been one of his greatest honors.
I felt my ancestors behind me and alongside me. That was makes the hair on your arms stand up.
And when I spoke with him on the phone after the announcement, he said they'll go through the long process ahead. But right now, it is a time to celebrate that this game that the Indigenous people call a medicine game will once again be highlighted under the glow of the Olympic flame.
Great piece, Pete. And speaking of the Olympics, I had a chance to sit down with a Paralympian.
She is great. She is an American multi-sport Paralympic. She is Okana Masters.
I'm from Ukraine originally, and I moved from when I was adopted in '97. Came to Buffalo, New York with my mom.
Her phenomenal athleticism is obvious. 6-time Paralympian, 7 gold, 7 silver, 3 bronze medals. But her story is about more than sports. Her story has driven Okana to be the best. Her early years in Ukraine could have easily broken her. Radiation poisoning from the Chernobyl nuclear reactor left Okana with physical defects. 6 toes on each foot, 5 webbed fingers on each hand, and no thumbs. At age 9, her left leg amputated. At 14, the right leg. Pity? That's not even in her vocabulary.
I didn't want to share parts of my experiences and my story for the fact that I didn't want pity and be viewed this way. But what I didn't realize is the impact it was having of me speaking my experiences, how someone else walked those same shoes.
Gay Masters, a UB professor, adopted Okana.
We ripped this one pretty good.
There was a moratorium that was put on, also in the US for foreign adoptions around that time. And I was the first American child adopted when that was lifted here in the US and came over to Buffalo, New York.
Why do I love you? I just do.
She has a rose tattooed on her body.
That reference is a Aretha Franklin song that I fell in love with because growing up in government orphanages, and I lived in 3 different ones until I was adopted, a lot of good things, but also majority not so good things happen. And I really struggled with the whole process of loving every part of me and the memories that I had at night no one knew about.
And a rose is still and always will be a rose.
When I heard that lyric, Aretha Franklin saying it with the soul, doesn't matter what shape, phase of its life it's in, it's still a rose, it always will be a rose. My mom is always going to be that Rose for me. She literally saved my life.
Buffalo was a new start, attending Maplemere Elementary in the Sweet Home District.
There was a Ukrainian community around Buffalo too, so I actually went to, after school, to Ukrainian school.
But the childhood friend she made, Jessica, was there from the start.
I remember like the day when we had to leave Buffalo, and her family were on that driveway. We're just bawling.
The 34-year-old adults, they remain connected. When Okana attended her first Bills game and was on the field to help hype Bills Mafia, her childhood friend was there. It was Buffalo where Okana first got her taste of sports. It was ice skating and Saba, an organization for those with disabilities.
Even in that program, like I had no idea I was disabled or had a disability at all.
You have your somewhat, it's a disability, whatever you want to categorize it as.
Yeah.
But you still have ability, right? Take the DIS off.
Exactly.
You have ability.
And I think why I didn't see myself as an athlete is because I didn't have the opportunities and they weren't there.
What do you think and what do you hope people learn from you?
You stand up more than you fall, but you're the one that decides if you want to stay down or not.
And now she's ready for the Summer Games. She'll be cycling in the Paralympics.
Paris is the one. I'm so excited.
Team USA.
Yeah.
What does that mean to you?
It's so impossible to put it into words because when you hear Team USA, it's united. We are just one nation. We're all together.
And we want to give a huge shout out to a Major League Baseball player from Western New York. Jonah Heim of Amherst is headed to the World Series with the Texas Rangers.
His high school baseball coach at Amherst High is super proud. Here's Brian Davis.
It's incredible. It's been a season of incredibleness. From him starting as the starting catcher, then being the starting catcher in the All-Star game, to now having a huge impact in the postseason. It's just been a miraculous run for him, and I'm really happy for him.
Coming up, the community gets its say in the controversy over covering the Kensington Expressway.
Our top story tonight.
Join us every weeknight for Channel 2 News at 5:30 as award-winning anchor Claudine Ewing brings you the top stories of the day.
Here was an update on construction.
Backed by insight and perspective from Western New York's most experienced journalists.
Rejecting the emergency order.
And of course, a forecast you can count on.
Get your umbrellas ready. Showers shifting in after about midnight.
For less talk, more news. Watch Channel 2 News at 5:30 with Claudine Ewing. Always on your side.
Are you one of those people whose hand goes up at the same time a smile starts to form on your face because you have missing or cracked teeth and it's impacting your social or business life? I have good news. We can help make that smile of yours become what you want it to be. We've been doing implant dentistry for nearly 20 years. We can help you with financing, we offer sedation, and with our 3D printing technology, you can have new teeth the same day. We're Concierge Dental Group. The smile for me, just dial 3.
Buffalo business owners, executives, and students, Odoo, a leader in business management software, is betting on Buffalo for its future. That's why they're hosting their Odoo Day event at the Stettler Hotel on November 30th. At Odoo Day, you'll discover how Odoo can help any business of any size. Odoo Day will feature over 50 free talks with tons of networking and job opportunities. So join us on November 30th to see why Odoo is right for your business. Learn more and register for free at odoo.com/WGRZ.
Bath remodeling was revolutionized in this garage in 1984 when three brothers created the iconic bath fitter tub-over-tub process. A breakthrough then, the industry standard now for beautiful baths without the mess, stress, or high cost. A better way from bath fitter means precise measurement, the highest quality acrylic, perfect preparation, and watertight installation backed by a lifetime warranty. Bath fitter, it just fits. Visit bathfitter.com to book your free consultation.
For most of us, we only know the Kensington Expressway. We don't remember when it was covered.
Yeah, when it was Humboldt Parkway, part of the Frederick Law Olmsted Park system. Well, they're talking about covering it and connecting a community, but the talk about that is actually dividing a community once again. It's a project that experts claim will restore communities that were split decades ago. A $1 billion plan to cap and tunnel about a mile of the Kensington Expressway.
The train has left the station. The boat has sailed. The fix is in.
For months, it has been the experts telling the community about their plans, but in recent weeks, the community started to talk back.
I grew up in this neighborhood. I've been a resident all my life, and I'm concerned about the proposed project the way it is regarding the air quality.
And while the DOT, according to their mission, is focused on reconnecting and traffic flow at the same time, residents are concerned about a lot.
It only takes 15 minutes to get anywhere. You know, I think we've gotten a little spoiled by that. This has been a project that has been clearly steered, you know, to continue the 75,000 cars a day.
From the start, it's an engineered project. It's a project in a box. It comes out of Albany.
There's no conversation for the impact of the blasting that's going to happen for 4 to 5 years.
Earlier this month, community members came together for a meeting at the Science Museum to bring their concerns directly to state officials. And it was a controlled environment.
Can you show us a healthy study that predicts how much of a rise in asthma, cancer, COPD, heart disease, and how life expectancy there will be? And then also, can you tell us how much of a rise in these diseases can we expect?
With people having to submit questions in advance.
There are significant historical buildings along the Humboldt Parkway. What's going to happen to them?
People like Terrence Robinson, who has also lived along Humboldt for nearly 70 years. He saw the damage that the Kensington did to a thriving, diverse community when it was completed in 1965.
People that were Buffalo, and they wipe it out. They disregard it. They don't acknowledge it.
And as this project continues to steam forward, many of the same questions remain for this group of concerned neighbors. One of the biggest being, why cap the Kensington instead of filling it in and upgrading other roads for traffic like Main, Genesee, and Broadway?
I just remember the feeling that I had coming into the center, and I want to have others feel that same feeling, a feeling, you know, understood, loved, safe. You know, ever since 514, a lot of people in our city do not feel safe. And so we want to be able to create this safe haven here again, get the trust of the community again, and say our doors are open. And in the meantime, in between time, while we're getting ourselves together, we want you to assist us with doing that too, whatever that looks like.
So now what's the vision?
The vision is for us to solidify our foundation. You know, we've had tumultuous times. I am the newest leader here, and so setting up systems, making things easier for everyone who works here, and making sure that everyone isn't worn out. You know, we want people to be able to bask in the arts. When we think about the arts, we think about livelihood and bringing just growth and ethnicity and culture. I want to bring that back here. You know, I want to bring that back and let people know that our doors are open.
You had Jackie Mines, you had that come up in the news. Then there was Mr. Pitts, he's not here. And then members of the board who people have said are the problem. So tell me how you're going to deal with any internal conflict.
A lot of times I think people tend to forget what the focus is for the organizations, and they get caught up in that they are the most important thing here. And really, the organization is the most important thing here in the work that we're doing.
There have been some magnificent plays here. What do you want to see on stage here that will attract the masses?
I just want people who feel that they want to utilize the space. Feel free to call us, utilize the space, because that's what we're here for. So far, we've had open curtain season, and the plays have been phenomenal. And it just really goes to show just how cultured we are here in Buffalo, New York, and that when we have a place to utilize our talent, that we're going to do that and that people will come. So my role is, again, to build the foundation, solidify it here for what we already have, and then show them that we're doing well with this so that we can go into bigger and better.
Now, there wasn't a groundbreaking or anything, but the Capitol campaign is continuing, correct?
Yes. Yes, so we utilize some other organizations that have closed down, and there is a process that we want to utilize in order to be able to use any type of state funding, so we have to follow that protocol. You know, we have human libraries here, you know, and being able to see the art that, you know, our drummer, Yusuf, has done on his own. This is his art, you know, that he's done here, and to say that you have an artist here, and these floors, they've seen many a feet, many a kneecaps, everything else for people people here, but we've utilized this for so much. I plan to be a success here, so I'm looking forward to that.
And now we're going to celebrate a Canadian with a special tie to Western New York.
It's Drake.
Buffalo, New York was like the furthest I could get. At the Walden Galleria, trying to make the money stretch. Student price card.
Well, that's a verse in Drake's new album, For All the Dogs. It's near the end of the song, Away From Home. We thought it was really cool seeing Buffalo represented by a major artist, and we wanted to talk about it with an expert. And so Adri V from Power 93.7 WBLK is here to talk about the song. Buffalo is known for the Bills, known for the Wings, known for the Blizzards. But when Drake is shouting out the Walden Galleria, it's a whole new level. What do you think about it?
You know, Drake is known for shouting us out. You know, started out when he's talking about making his trips to Niagara Falls, shout out to Buffalo, never ducking low, always ducking low, and then also referencing us when he mentioned Damon College, of course, and at the WBLK, mentioning the Quiet Storm as well.
Right.
So he has a history of making sure he pays homage to WBLK, to Buffalo, which is a place that definitely helped mold him when it comes to music. So I think it's amazing each and every time he does it.
You mentioned how he referenced Damon College in the past in one of his songs. By mentioning a college, you know, a smaller college, right? It was Damon College then, it's Damon University now.
Yes.
But what does that do for the psyche of the people who are listening in Buffalo? And really, what does it do for Buffalo on the map nationwide? I know you go around, you're known as the go-getter, so what are people saying when they hear that?
So when he mentioned Damon University now, right, it was then when it was one of his first shows that he was out performing. Interesting enough, he did an amazing show. I have friends who were actually there at that concert, and they got a chance to hang out with him after the fact, right? But when he mentioning of Buffalo, it really pays attention to the fact that he always is going to pay homage to his beginnings, his humble beginnings. You know, even in this song, in his album For All the Dogs, he talked about how he had to make his money stretch, going to the Galleria Mall. He went from the Jets to from the Greyhound to the Jets,
the
right?
Greyhound of all places, right?
Yeah, you know, driving and riding a Greyhound. Now he's on the Jets, but he speaks about his humble beginnings, you know, his journey. And I think it's an amazing thing. But also what I love the fact is that not only does Drake mention Buffalo, but he also mentions the different artists that also came up during the time, you know, with him. So we're talking about the Benny the Butchers, the Conway the Machines, the West Side Guns, who are now also national artists, you know, with the likes of getting a tip from Jay-Z's and the Diddy's, who pay homage to them as well. And, you know, just recently, Benny the Butcher was at the BET Hip Hop Awards. Conway the Machine was nominated for Lyrics of the Year. And West Side is actually dropping an album tonight. So now we have our own artists, and we have these national artists that are mentioning our artists who are now national too. And I just love the fact that there's a camaraderie with that, and that he acknowledges them, all the while acknowledging Buffalo because they've been driving it as well.
Adri V from WBLK, thank you so much for joining us. And it's always good when we can talk about Drake. Whoever thought we'd see Drake next to the Walden Galleria, but that's where he was.
Up next on Community, celebrating a legacy of dance and love everlasting.
You've had a few too many drinks to be driving. You hop into that rideshare car, trusting that you're in safe hands. Then you find yourself sitting there helplessly as the driver gets into a car crash. Who's responsible for your injuries? Let the attorneys at Salino Law sort it all out for you.
Injured in a rideshare accident? Call Salino. We get you paid.
Car crash, call Salino.
In a world where the ordinary and extraordinary collide, a hero will rise and claim the ultimate reward. An all-new Hyundai Kona. Hyundai and its dealers are giving an all-new Kona to one real-life everyday hero. If you know an everyday hero, nominate them at HyundaiSaluteToHeroes.com. Just submit a short 300-word or less paragraph by November 12th, because one hero's journey makes the world better for everyone.
Join us at Niagara County Community College's open house on November 2nd at 6 p.m. or at the Niagara Falls Culinary Institute on November 4th at 11 a.m. Visit niagaracc.suny.edu/OPH to register today. Niagara County Community College, the smart place to start.
Welcome back to Community, and now it's time for Claudine to put on our dancing shoes.
You all wish you could see that, but what you are going to see is someone who is now 75 years old, taught so many kids in Buffalo. She's retired, and we're celebrating Miss Barbara.
The woman in the middle is Barbara Glover, better known as Miss Barbara.
My mother enrolled me in dance school at an early age. I think it was 5 years old. And it actually was recommended by the doctor because I was a bow-legged little girl.
And from there, her love of dance grew. Eventually, her talent showed others she needed to be an instructor.
I started with 12 students. And from there, it grew.
Her studio was in several locations, the last place on East Delavan in Maine.
My strongest area was tap. And I taught the younger ones because I wanted them to have a good foundation, you know, and so I always had the tots.
Even today, at age 75, she taught me a few steps.
Follow the foot and seal down. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
She's choreographed productions for sororities, pageants, and The Wiz.
So many people were sold out each night.
She was just the second Black to open and own a dance school in Buffalo.
There was a need, and I think that all children should have dance in their life. You know, not to be dancers, but you know, it's like going to school. You have to take math and geography, you know. So dance should be is an education. It's not just something you should do with children on Saturday morning, because there are so many benefits derived from dance training that have nothing to do with lights, camera, action.
And she was known for her discipline.
The kids call me a drill sergeant. You practice and practice and practice until you get it right. Saying failure cannot cope with persistence. And I am persistent.
How has dance changed over the years?
57 years ago, there wasn't technology like it is today. The technique, the dedication, the commitment, all of those things are required for dance. And that's the part that is lacking.
They weren't twerking 57 years ago.
They certainly weren't. If that is what, you know, their mom or dad and the child wanted, then Miss Barbara's School of Dance was not the place for them to be.
And her students have done well. Her daughter has a studio, and there's Nyla Ansari.
Now she is being recognized as a wonderful choreographer and director.
Former students and teachers, including Matthew Clark, are thankful for Miss Barbara.
Because she's left a legacy of not just dancers, but good human beings.
I have absolutely a ball full of confidence, personality, poise, how to be congenial.
The benefits derived from dance training, you know, they play over into their everyday life, regardless of whether they pursue dance, the discipline, the experiences, you know, they learn to focus. They learn the parts of their body.
Yeah.
The self-esteem, the self-confidence, you know, all those things are derived from dance.
She was even asked to teach the Buffalo Braves.
It was just a matter of coordination so that they wouldn't foul. If you see a ballerina, I mean, stand on their toes and, you know, and not falling and balancing. It all starts at the bar.
Focus, discipline, and practice.
It's about lessons. If you're alive, lessons never stop.
From celebrating a love of dance to celebrating true love.
Danielle Church tells us a story, a love story that's been nearly 9 decades in the making.
from the moment they came into the world.
We were born on the same day, same year.
August 25th, 1934.
1934. That makes us 25 years old.
Carmelo Parisi and Jenny Mattaliano's love story was meant to be.
That our parents were good friends, and we knew each other from day one.
But every love story also happens at the right time. Both of their parents had moved to Buffalo from the same town in Sicily in the 1920s. Both of their parents owned grocery stores. Both of them lived on the West Side. Despite those similarities, the timing still wasn't right, and life got in the way.
Carm got married and had a lovely family, and we went our separate ways.
Until 3 years ago.
My wife used to make fig cookies, and when she passed away, I found some frozen fig in the freezer, and I had to call her for the recipe. Little did I know she was going to invite me over to show me how to make them. And this is what happened.
So on October 7th, 2023.
We are
both 89 years old. But she's older.
No.
They finally said I do.
I see it, I hear it, I feel it. Wherever we go, wherever we talk, people just take you and love you. How many times have I said to you, I love everything about you.
God sent you to me one day, and you changed my life forever. I love you for this sweet and gentle.
What do you think your parents would think of this?
I think they're celebrating up there. I think they're doing a Danielle.
When it comes to love, timing is everything.
Did you ever think of getting married before? Or
I did, but it didn't happen because it was going to happen with him.
And for the rest of their lives,
I hope we have 50 years.
They will spend every moment together.
We have an awful lot in common. We laugh all the time. We just love being together. I think we were just meant to be.
How can you not love a love story? That is what commUNITY is all about.
No doubt. Thank you for joining us for this October edition of commUNITY.
We'll see you in November.